Good morning everyone. Welcome to the social science class. This is class 6th, chapter number 3. It's geography chapter. Name of the chapter, motions of the earth. And today we are going to cover all the topics as we are taking the summary lecture today, in which we summarize all the topics covered in the chapter in different lectures. So in lecture number 1 and 2, we have already discussed the chapter, the different topics in those lectures. Now today we will recapitulate all those topics. So firstly, the topics that we have already covered and we will discuss again, they are introduction of the chapter, rotation and revolution, axis and orbit, circle of illumination, revolution and seasons, leap year, summer solstice, winter solstice, and equinox. So the topics we will summarize again in today's lecture. First of all, if we talk about motion, motion means movement. So here basically we are talking about the movements of the earth. Earth, the planet where we live. That is also known as the unique planet because only earth is a planet where life is possible. So we will talk about the two types of movement of the earth. First is earth rotates on its axis. The first movement of the earth is its rotation on its axis. Second, it revolves around the sun. This is the second movement of the earth, where the earth that revolves around the sun in its orbit. So now we will discuss about rotation and revolution, the two types of motions or movements of the earth. Rotation is the movement of the earth on its axis. The movement or the motion of the earth on its axis is known as rotation. Revolution is the movement of the earth around the sun. And what is revolution? It is movement of the earth around the sun in its fixed path called orbit. Now we must know what is axis and what do you mean by orbit. As in rotation we have done, it's earth's rotation or movement on its axis, and in revolution the earth's movement around the sun in its orbit. So the meanings of axis and orbit. Axis is an imaginary line on which the earth rotates, that is called axis. This is just an imaginary line, not the real one. That is imaginary line on which the earth rotates, that is known as axis. Earth rotates from west to east on its axis. Orbit, it is a fixed path on which planets revolve around the sun. As we talked in the first chapter that in solar system, sun is the head of the solar family and all 8 planets, they revolve around the sun in their orbit. So orbit, it is a fixed path on which planets revolve around the sun. So The two types of movements of the earth are rotation and revolution. Rotation of the earth. The first movement of the earth that we covered, rotation. Rotation of the earth. Earth rotates on its axis. It completes one rotation in 24 hours or 1 day. This 24 hours, that is known as a earth day. So, the one rotation the earth completes in 24 hours, that is known as 1 day. It causes day and night. Due to rotation on its axis, it causes day and night. The part of the earth that remains in front of sun and gets light, there the day is present, and the part that is in darkness, that is not getting light, there is night. So in this way it causes day and night. It is daily motion of the earth. As 1 day in 24 hours it is there on the earth, so we can say it is daily motion of the earth. Orbital plane. Orbital plane that is formed by the orbit is called orbital plane. Now for better understanding, you just see the diagram. There it is written the plane of the earth's orbit. And as we know that our axis on which the earth rotates, it is tilted. It is tilted by 23.5 degrees. And due to that, it makes 66.5 degree angle on its orbital plane. Or you can say the inclination of the earth or the axis, that is 66.5 degree. So we can say that the earth is tilted 23.5 degree and the inclination, or it makes the angle there on orbital plane, it is 66.5 degree angle. So this is all about the orbital plane, the plane that is formed by the earth's orbit, that is orbital plane. Next is circle of illumination, by which we can understand the formation of day and night also. Just see the diagram carefully. In this diagram, we can understand the circle of illumination as well as how the day and nights are formed. The circle which separates day from night is called the circle of illumination. This is the meaning of circle of illumination. The circle that separates day from night is known as circle of illumination. You can see in diagram that half portion of the earth is getting light from the sun. There it is day. And on the back side you can say where darkness is there, here in that part night is there. And the part, the line, the circle that is separating both day and night, that is circle of illumination. And we can explain the formation of day and night by the same diagram as the part of the sun facing sun or getting sunlight, it has day, and the part that is in darkness, there is night. So by this diagram we can explain circle of illumination as well as formation of day and night. Now revolution of the earth. As rotation we have covered. By rotation, day and night, formation of day and night, it causes day and night. We covered circle of illumination with that. Now, revolution of the earth. It is movement of the earth around the sun in its orbit. Earth takes 365 days and 6 hours to complete one revolution. In rotation, it is taking 24 hours. In revolution, Earth takes 365 days and 6 hours to complete one revolution around the sun. It causes seasons. As Earth changes its position on its orbit when it is revolving around the sun, due to the changes there in the position, different seasons cause. So it causes seasons. It is yearly motion of the earth. As on earth, the year is of 365 days. So we can say it is yearly motion of the earth. If there is differentiation between revolution and rotation, these all points you can write in the difference of rotation and revolution of the earth. Now, revolution and seasons. As we talked that it causes seasons. Due to revolution of the earth around the sun, the seasons cause. So, now we will see how the seasons changes due to revolution. Earth takes 365 days and 6 hours to complete one revolution, that we already discussed. In its orbit, seasons change due to the change in the position of the earth around the sun. When it is revolving around the sun in its orbit, so it changes its position, and due to the change in position, different seasons they are present in different parts of the earth. Through one diagram we will discuss again. A year is usually divided into 4 main seasons: summer, winter, spring and autumn. Now let's discuss the same with the help of diagram. See, in this diagram you can see there, if you see there, the summer in the northern hemisphere. At this position, the earth's northern part, that is tilted towards the sun. So obviously more heat it is getting, and that's why in northern hemisphere at this time summer season is there, and opposite to it in southern hemisphere it is winter season, and it receives less heat from the sun. First thing. Second, if you see there in the diagram, summer solstice is written. This is the phenomena. How can you understand that? Summer solstice that falls on 21st June, when the sun rays fall directly on the Tropic of Cancer. The sun rays, they fall directly on Tropic of Cancer at this position, and that's why they are in northern hemisphere at that particular day, that is the longest day, and it has the shortest night. And it is vice versa there in southern hemisphere in this situation. But if you talk about the second position, the opposite of it, where winter in the northern hemisphere is there. If you see there carefully, you will find now the southern hemisphere is there towards the sun. So it is getting more heat. In this situation, in southern hemisphere it is summer season, and northern hemisphere it has winter season. And if we talk about winter solstice, it falls on 22nd December and this is the day when direct rays of the sun they fall on Tropic of Capricorn in southern hemisphere, and that is the longest day and shortest night in southern hemisphere, and it is vice versa there in northern hemisphere, the shortest day and longest night. Basically in winter season we have the longer nights and shorter days. So these are the phenomena of summer solstice and winter that we will discuss again, and the phenomena of summer season and winter season. Now if we see the two other positions of the earth, there equinox is written. Its meaning is equi, that comes from equal. In both the position, the sun rays fall on directly on equator, and that's why the complete earth that receives the equal heat, and that's why there are equal days and equal nights in both the hemispheres. Here no pole is tilted towards the earth, as we discussed in the summer solstice and winter solstice. North pole was tilted, south pole was tilted, but here no pole is tilted towards the sun. The direct rays of the sun they fall on equator, and the complete earth that has equal days and equal nights, that's why this position is known as equinox. But on 21st March, 23rd September, both position they are on equinox, but in March there is spring in northern hemisphere and autumn in southern hemisphere, and it is vice versa there in September. In September there is autumn in northern hemisphere and spring in southern hemisphere. So this is how the revolution of the earth and seasons we can explain. Now the leap year. As if we talk about the normal years or the ordinary years there on the earth, as we know that earth takes definitely the same time, 365 days and 6 hours to complete one revolution. But in our calendars, we have the years of 365 days. Ordinary years we are talking about. We have 365 days in our calendars. So what is the leap year now? How it is formed? As the 6 hours that we are not adding every year, how we add that? The 6 hours make 1 day or 24 hours after every 4 years. How? Because if 666 we add 4 times, 6 4s are 24, it makes 24 hours, and 24 hours means 1 day here on the earth. So after every 4 years we have 1 day by adding 6 hours every year. So that 1 day, we add this 1 day after every 4 years. Instead of taking 6 hours every year, we are adding 1 complete day after every 4 years. That's why a leap year has 366 days instead of 365 days. And the surplus day that we add there in February months, that's why in leap year February month has 29 days instead of 28 days. So this is how we can explain what is leap year and how it is formed. Now summer solstice. As we discussed there in revolution and seasons also. So what is it? How we explain it? It falls on 21st June. The northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun in this position. So sun rays fall directly on the Tropic of Cancer. At this position on 21st June, direct rays of the sun, they fall on Tropic of Cancer. As the northern hemisphere, it is tilted towards the sun, and that's why the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. That's why there is summer in the northern hemisphere. And the longest day and shortest night occur on 21st June in northern hemisphere. And if we talk about at the same time in southern hemisphere, it has longest night and shortest day. This is all about summer solstice. There in the diagram you can see the separate diagram. You can see there the sun rays fall directly on Tropic of Cancer. That's why it gets the northern hemisphere gets more light, more heat from the sun. Summer is there, and in the southern hemisphere it is winter season. And direct rays, as we talked, Tropic of Cancer in northern hemisphere. And at this position on 21st June, the longest day and shortest night is there in northern hemisphere, and the longest night and shortest day they are in southern hemisphere. Now winter solstice. It falls on 22nd December. The sun rays fall directly on the Tropic of Capricorn. Larger portion of the southern hemisphere gets light, as the south pole, it is there towards the sun at this position. So the larger portion of the southern hemisphere gets light, or it gets more heat. That's why the summer season is there in southern hemisphere. And in northern hemisphere it is winter season. It is there is shortest day and longest night in northern hemisphere. During this position, northern hemisphere experiences winter season. So this is all about winter solstice. And in the same way, we can differentiate summer and winter solstice. When do they fall? Well, at this position, the direct rays of the sun, where they fall, the shortest day and the longest night. We can take these all things for differentiation between summer solstice and winter solstice. Now by this diagram we can see the position of the winter solstice. The direct sun rays, they fall on Tropic of Capricorn. That's why it is summer they are in southern hemisphere and winter they are in northern hemisphere. That we already talked about everything. Now equinox position. The position that is there on 21st March and 23rd September. These dates all 21st June, 22nd December, 21st March, 23rd September you have to remember. The sun rays fall directly on the equator in these positions, and that's why the whole earth experiences equal days and equal nights. Here in this position, no pole is tilted towards the sun. The direct rays, they fall on equator. That's why in both the hemispheres equal days and equal nights are there. That's why this position is the equinox position. Now one more topic, that is poles have about 6 months day and 6 months night. And the reason for that, the tiltness of the earth axis. Now by this diagram we can understand here the axis of the earth is tilted. That we talked that it is tilted 23.5 degrees. Due to which the sun continuously either shines or cannot be seen for a long time on the poles. If you see there where N is written, that is representing North Pole. There near the axis, here near the pole, the parts they are having the day continuously for long time. as it is rotating, but that part remains in the direct with the sun. That's why it has the day at this time. But in the opposite condition, if you see the south pole, near the south pole, the dark part is there. So for a longer time, the sun never rises here. That's why it has night for the longer time. And the position changes near about 6 months. Then it will be opposite. South pole there will be the day continuously, and North pole there will be the night continuously. So how will we explain it? Due to the tiltness of the Earth's axis, this happens that the sun continuously either shine or cannot be seen for the long time on the poles. Although the Earth rotates, Earth is rotating continuously, then also day changes in nights and nights changes into days at other places. The other places, they are having day after night and night after day. But the parts near the pole, they have, due to the tiltness of the Earth, poles remains under the same stays for a longer time due to tiltness. That is the reason of the about 6 months day and 6 months night on the poles. Now, some of the exercise question. Take the correct answer. First is, the movement of the earth around the sun is known as, that is, around the sun is revolution. Direct rays of the sun fall on the equator. On equator, as we discussed, that is the position of equinox. So see the dates: 21st March, 21st June, 22nd December. The answer is 21st March. And as 21st June, that is summer solstice position. 22nd December, winter solstice position. Christmas is celebrated in summer in Australia. Why? Because it is there in the southern hemisphere. When it is winter in northern hemisphere, there in southern hemisphere it is summer. As we celebrate Christmas on 25th December, so it is celebrated in summer in Australia. Fill in the blanks. A leap year has 366 number of days. The earth travels around the sun in elliptical orbit. The orbit in which it is revolving, that is elliptical orbit. The sun rays fall vertically on the Tropic of Cancer at the time of summer solstice on 21st June. Days are shorter during winter season, that we already discussed. So we have covered all the topics again in the summary lecture. I hope you have understood. Now let's move further for the assignment. First question, multiple choice question. The axis of the earth is in dash. The earth receives light from the dash. The time taken by the earth to complete one rotation around its axis is dash. The earth completes one revolution. The time period you will write here. It is spring in northern hemisphere and autumn in southern hemisphere. Next is, answer the following questions. Why do seasons change? What is the reason? Name two types of motions of the earth. The third, how many days does a leap year have? Define orbit. What would happen if the earth did not rotate? When Christmas is celebrated in Australia? So these questions you will attempt. The next is, fill in the blanks. The earth receives light from. The earth takes about dash to complete one rotation. The period of rotation is known as, on 23rd September, it is dash season in northern hemisphere and dash in southern hemisphere. The portion facing the sun experiences dash while other half away from the sun experiences dash. The axis of the earth makes the angle of dash degree on orbital plane. Australia lies in dash hemisphere. The longest day and shortest night at these places occur on the day you will write here. Now, the time for the homework solution. The question those were given in lecture number 2. What is a leap year? The year in which February is of 29 days instead of 28 is called a leap year. Thus, a leap year is of 366 days instead of 365 days. Differentiate between the summer and winter solstice. It falls on 21st June. It falls on 22nd December. The sun shines directly on the Tropic of Cancer in this position. The sun shines directly on Tropic of Capricorn in this position. There is longest day and shortest night in northern hemisphere. There is shortest day and longest night in northern hemisphere. Remember this here, longest day and shortest night is there in summer solstice in northern hemisphere, and in the northern hemisphere in winter solstice shortest day and longest night. What is an equinox? It is there on 21st March and 23rd September. The sun rays fall directly on the equator. Neither of the poles is tilted towards the sun in this position. The whole earth experiences equal days and equal nights. This is called equinox. Why do the poles experience about 6 months day and 6 months night? The axis of the earth is tilted, due to which sun continuously either shines or cannot be seen for a long time on the poles. Although the earth rotates, day changes in nights, nights into days at other places, but the poles remain under the same stage for a longer time due to the tiltness of the axis. So this is all about this homework solution of lecture 2. I hope you have understood the chapter. Thank you.